My dear viewers, beginning today is the official Alliteration Gaming Patreon and channel members. Throughout my Patreon, we've got quite a few tiers you can check out in order to gain special perks and even commission videos that you'd like to see me upload onto the channel. Every tier includes a shout out on my supporter card at the beginning of all of my videos, along with the benefits of the tier itself. Following that, you can now also join the Alliteration Nation by becoming a channel member on the YouTube side of things. Pledging your subscription here as a member of the channel is going to grant you the same shout out on my supporter card as all the Patreon tiers do, as well as access to the members only channel on my Discord. You'll gain a member badge that will level up as you stay subscribed and access to my exclusive emotes when I stream on YouTube. If you're interested in checking out the Patreon, I'm going to have the link in the description and in the pinned comment down below, as well as the link to my Discord should you want to join that as well. And if you want to become a channel member, the big beautiful join button is front and center on my homepage right here. And if you do decide to support the channel in any way whatsoever, know that I am unimaginably grateful, and I can't wait to provide you with even more top-notch content at my trademark top speed. Now, let's get on to the video. Welcome, my dear viewers, to their Alliteration Gaming video. My name's Levi, and today we're going to be taking a look at some gameplay and doing a bit of commentary on it. This video comes hot off the charts from our patron Brandon Barry. He sent in this gameplay of him playing an Earth Kamui Woods deck into his rival, who's playing a Stain 1 deck on the All Symbol. I'm super excited to commentate on this gameplay, and of course, if you want your own gameplay commentary or any other commissioned videos on my Patreon, you can check out the link down below for all of those tiers. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So these guys are going to be getting right into it. It looks like Stain is going to be on the play. His character's not committed, but he's definitely going first here. It probably won't matter until it does, right? Man, I haven't seen starting with the basics in a deck in a very long time. This kind of makes me happy. This is like a real throwback too. This is a lot like the Stain deck I originally played back in set 2, before proceeding to better symbols and better characters. But I do think that Stain 1 is still kind of real. Honestly guys, this is like my hot take here. But if Stain 1 did not have the clause that you need your rival to have taken damage for the check hack, the character would like actually be kind of busted, just a little bit. We're gonna see a really, what might seem like a greedy build for Kamui, but I actually really love this style of build where if you're not worried about committing your character on turn 1, going to build constantly on a 4 on a 4 on a 4 just to essentially give yourself a little bit of leeway for one of your bad checks is really cool, rather than like a build that either like takes no risks and definitely builds less, or a build that takes more risks but asks you to go like perfect. I like the on a 4 for everyone a lot. It feels really safe. You're also going to see that these players are playing a little bit fast here. It's because I do have this video sped up just to make the commentary a little easier, and the video not like, I think, an hour and like 45 minutes or something, whatever the original VOD time is. It's pretty crazy. So the Expert Flurry is going to come down here. This is a pretty nice one. Obviously, like when you're in a combo weapon deck, which it looks like this is kind of what this Stain deck is. When you're playing like a combo weapon deck like this, your main concern is always, well, what's my first move? Because everything wants to combo or combo weapon. So is my first one going to just do nothing? And that's kind of the nice part about the Expert Flurry, is it gets to be a combo that still gets to do something when it's not comboing, which is passing the 2 damage, as you can see, to the next one. And it looks like we just didn't use Stain on that Expert Flurry, which is a little weird. It's definitely a weapon. We definitely could have given it plus speed and make our rival lose an extra health, but I suppose it is what it is. And then now we've got the Piercing Descent coming in, another pretty powerful choice. If Kamui is not holding a low block, or I'm sorry, a high block, I should say, this is going to hurt. Essentially being a 7 damage move, kind of like an 8 damage move in our character as well. We also still haven't used our no, I think we did. That's how this has an extra speed on it, from the easily excited by the looks of it. You also cannot hear these players talking, which again, with the VOD sped up, everyone sounds a little silly with the super sped up voices. So I elected to leave that audio off as well. Might be something I change in the future. This is the first one of these, so we're still kind of seeing how things go. Still very much in the trial run for this sort of video. So thankfully we do have the high block to deal with this piercing descent. Descent is really scary, but only if you don't have that high block. And it looks like that's our proxy there, our face down UFS card, our OG here with the Petty Squabble written on it. So there's our Petty Squabble proxy. Love to see it. So the hardened jab is going to be a perfect block on this. Looks like this is like an Earth Kamui deck. I really like Earth Kamui. I think Petty Squabble Kamui is just kind of like low-key the way to go. It just, oh man, it just offers you so much value. Petty Squabble is such a ridiculous card in Kamui. Exhausted Exclamation underwater is also really good for Kamui, but man, you just get so much else on the Earth symbol as well that it's really hard to pass up. Earth is still like probably the best symbol in the game right now. The ban list dodged it entirely. All it really did was put pressure on Kirishima himself, but the actual Earth main decks did not get touched at all. Okay, and so there's the easily excited coming in, and we did mark it, and man, we're very determined to hit our rival even more, which is kind of crazy because like we already got our response online, right? Like the first attack hit him. But, you know, I guess maybe, you know, sometimes the hand just tells you what to do, right? If the hand is angry, the hand is angry. The Cloth Assault is also going to offer some really nice filter here as well. We haven't played an action, so it's not gonna get its like super bonus speed. But the easily excited and Stain himself, man, like Stain's +1 speed to everything and like essentially +1 damage with the burn effect is like really solid. And it looks like we might be committed to not blocking this, given that we're using Kamui to go ahead and utilize some damage reduction. The resistance is going to come in from -2 to the next. Oh my goodness, Kamui, do you think there's going to be a next? You think there's going to be a next? How far is this man trying to go? Now I wonder, since we've used Kamui for damage, that might be an indication as us not blocking. So I might have gone for the start with the basics there as Stain. But he said, hey, you know, almost half of your life total is just plenty enough. I've got my response online. I've got my hand replenished. I've got some nice blocks thanks to the Cloth Assault. Man, Cloth Assault is so good. Cloth Assault, to be honest, is just one of the things that like keeps me on weapon decks. Now, as Kamui here, it's going to be pretty hard to aggress this turn because, for one, I really don't want to like run into a Stain response at a really inopportune time, lose my valuable cards in hand, as well as like with only 12 health, you might want to get caught up on building. But he simply disagrees. We have to Stain response this, right? Stain responsing is massive here. We would check a 0. There's no way you can commit for that. We would get rid of the form. Yeah, I think it's a huge misplay not Stain respond in there, because like sure, Kamui could just play another attack, right? But Hardened Chop is just not really one that you want to deal with. It would be great to not have to deal with Hardened Chop right here. And then you're also getting rid of that +2 speed, because the form on Season the Advantage is your next attack gets +2 speed, right? Your next attack gets +2 speed, meaning that if we Stain response, we fail that attack, and then we play our next one, that is no longer our next attack. We have played our next attack, and it got that 2 speed, right? So that is kind of the issue there. With not using the Stain response there. But I guess we're just really not worried about a pumped up speed and Hardened Chop. You know, we're just not super pressed about it, even though these one with natures are going to come in pretty hard here if we so desire. Yeah, this is just pretty strong right here, actually. Being able to reset our stage a little bit is also nice. And man, the double any means necessary coming in on the Kamui responses here is actually nuts. This is now a very big Hardened Chop. I mean, if we have the ability to block it, we have the ability to block it. But man, the all symbol is really just not known for having the greatest low blocks in the world. And I'm kind of afraid. For I think, I mean, we have like a really big health pool, right? That's kind of the nice thing about playing Stain as a 6-hander with 29 health. We're in a good position, but at the same time, man, I mean, what is this, 8 damage to the face? It's still 8 damage to the face. But it looks like we're scribbling on our notepad, so we might be opting to just go ahead and take this one rather than giving our rival 2 cards out of our hand. It looks like we've got 3 in hand, which would make sense after the Cloth Assault. And it seems like we also don't want to allow him to ready Kamui. So, I mean, there's a lot of reason to consider not blocking here. There's still a lot to think about. The Hardened Chop also coming in for its reset by the looks of it. Yeah, this is a really scary move. I mean, I think you can afford to block it because it's like, are you going to do 29 after? I think it really just depends on what like zones you're holding. If he doesn't have the low, he doesn't have the low. And now this is going to come in on a 5. Okay, you got to stay and respond here, right? You got no. Okay, there it is. There it is. Oh, we're thinking about it. We're thinking about it. Come on, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just do it. Just do it. Get that card out of his hand. Just get it out of his hand. That's what you care about. Your character now says respond once per turn. Your rival has -1 hand size, and the rolling 3s here are going to be super punishing. I mean, I don't think he's allowed to still pass the first one. Even if he checks well and you stay and respond it, committing 3 is still a bunch. But hey, now we got to get the card out of him and make him commit 2, and that's just fantastic. That's like the place we want to be in. The main issue here is I think we still don't have the low block. So this is probably going to draw our rival a card. Oh, we do. Interesting that we didn't stop the really big chop. Maybe we were scared of the hardened barrage drawing our rival cards, and we just really wanted to circumvent that. Interesting. Or maybe the chop was just too fast. We didn't want to consider failing the block. But if we had stayed and responded on the chop, we wouldn't have been at risk of that. So interesting risk assessment either way. But overall, a decent turn for Kamui. Got a big chunk of damage in. Honestly, could have stopped attacking after the hardened chop. I wouldn't have hated that at all. Especially since it's like, I mean, I guess like if you're thinking you have the read that he doesn't have the low block, you want to draw some cards, filter that hand out. It's possible that the hand was just very angry. Both of these players just drawing like hotter than a hot tamale right now, and it looks like it's going to be just a build turn for Stain unless the capture net comes down. Ooh, or the cloth assault. Very unfortunate checks there. It looks like we drew all of our foundations and checked all of our attacks, such as the life sometimes. But the cloth assault is going to help fix our hand here. Big thing about that card is combo enhance, combo with a weapon, discard a card, draw 2 cards. Big thing about that right there is you can combo with any weapon, and the intimidating presence right there is indeed a weapon foundation. And so it looks like Kamui's come in for a global -1 damage here, which like honestly we really just worry about it doing any damage. I don't think we're like super pressed about the stain. We're not super pressed about the damage reduction because of the stain damage burn. Like as long as it deals 1, it's dealing 2. As long as it deals, you know, X, you get what I'm talking about here. I wonder if there are any. We've seen the Sugar Rush power ups, but an action card play would be huge. And there it is. There is the Sugar Rush power up. That's like really that's fantastic timing right there. This is gonna make this actually pretty scary. And given that we've already Kamui'd for -1 damage, we might not be looking to block this move unless we're just trying to stack that damage reduction, right? But the Sugar Rush is gonna come in and remove the 10 for the +2/+4 here, which is really strong because when you're talking about Cloth Assault, it's actually +4/+4, right? Because now that you've put in action, it gets 2 speed. It gets 1 more speed from Stain. It starts out at 3. It's going to gain 4/5 from Sugar Rush, 6/7 from itself, 8 from Stain, and then now 9 from the start with the basics. This is now a 9 mid for it looks like 10 damage, which is really big. If we can put 1 more damage on this, it's lethal, right? If we can put 1 more damage on this, it's super lethal because you're going to burn for 1 after it hits you from Stain, and that's going to be all she wrote. So this is pretty scary right here. Even if we just don't have any other follow-up, this will be a great turn for us if this is able to stick. And I mean, at 9 speed, there's like actually no way Kamui could block this, save for like a freaking buddy block and check a 6. I think this is just gonna hit right away. And it looks like we're gonna be going all the way down to 2 and then losing 1 for Stain, and then we're going to use the learning the standards to say, hey, you gotta slow down here. You gotta stop. Please play a foundation as your next one. Please. Which I think we're super fine doing, given that we've committed like almost our entire board to this play, which I think is fine. I mean, we're now daring Kamui to do 21 next turn, which might be pretty tough, given that we have Stain response online. Our rivals only got 5 foundations. Now they've got some really good aggressive ones. Double 1 with nature is, you know, oh my god, wow, we went for it, and unfortunately the checks told us no. Man, that would have been a pretty crazy play if we'd have succeeded though. That would have been actually nuts there, man. Unfortunate that didn't play out, but I think we're still in a really good position here as Stain. Kamui's got a lot to think about how he wants to proceed with this turn. I mean, he's either got to like find some crazy line to go for the kill, or just really put his dukes up. But I mean, at 1 health, you know, it's gonna be really tough to survive next turn, having to perfect block everything. That we've already shown a lot of struggle when it comes to something like that. Oh, and the hardened jab comes in and checks the 3. I don't know if this, I don't think I would stay in response to this one. I don't think this is the one to stay in response. I think you gotta wait for something in the future. And it looks like we're gonna backtrack on committing our character, gonna go for the committing our foundation, because of course Hardened Jab gets to pick one up and build a new one in. And now right here, I mean, I guess like we're going for it, right? I mean, our Rebel has left us at 1 health. It's time for some you know, some anime power up. Kamui's got to try and find this lethal line. I just wonder if he can do it. You know, the Kamui enhances and the one with natures could be what proves pivotal here. With only 4 ready foundations and his character, it might be pretty tough for Stain to prosper a ton of blocks here when the one with natures come in. It just depends, like, how much can we afford to one with nature, you know? How much can we really afford to one with nature? We already have +1/+1 on everything because of quick to act and our character. We're definitely at below half health, so those are all going to be online. And the great thing about double one with nature is you can discard for 1 and respond with both damage pumps. So effectively, +2 speed, +2 damage on all your moves for discarding a card. Could combine that with our character and the quick attack +3/+3 on all our moves, as long as we can afford a discard each time. So pretty, you know, if there was ever a way to kill someone on 5 foundations, this is definitely the way. You know, if we got like a Texas Smash or 2, this could be over really, really quickly, because sometimes blocking Texas Smash just is not a thing you can do, and the one with natures really starts stacking up. And it looks like we're gonna save our blocks for the scarier future attacks. Whoa, this is incredibly greedy. This is incredibly greedy. So he's gonna come in on the 4, then Texas on the 6. Okay, checks the 5. I think this is probably the one that you want to Stain respond on. I think this is the Stain response all day right here. You would check a 2, you got to commit 4 things, and you lose on your -2 speed. Yeah, that would be the Stain response there. Once again, I think we might have missed the best window to use our Stain response this game, and it might just be what eventually comes to bite us in the butt. If Kamui can find lethal this turn. And I mean, with a move like this, it's starting to look more and more like that could happen. Now, we are starting to tax our hand a lot, especially if we go for the Texas Smash Enhance, discarding a card and giving our next one 4 damage, which it looks like is what we're doing. We're going to get to use the one with natures on that as well, which is pretty crazy. We haven't blocked yet, so Kamui has not come back up yet to go ahead and ready things. It really sucks too. The season took away our destined for mainstream success, which I mean might have helped us out, and I don't really like the card in hand as much, because I don't think we get to block much more than what's in our hand already. And it looks like there's the discard coming in for the one with nature. Yeah, this is very, very scary. I don't know if we're actually allowed to block this anymore. It's effectively a 7, 8, 9. It's like possible. It's possible, but we would have to commit our character, I think, barring any like +0 blocks or 6 checks. So I think we just have to go ahead and take that 8 damage. But now we have to pretty much block everything, right? The one with natures are going to come down and just make everything. We have like what? We have 1 card in hand left after all that. We're pretty much banking it on this. So this is going to be, looks like it's on a 6, and yeah, we haven't actually made the check yet. Hang on, don't commit Stain just yet. We have not actually made the check for our punches here, for our big old Sato punch. The great thing about this though is that if we Stain response on this one, it's gonna come in with the, it's not gonna come in with the +4 anymore. We're gonna effectively negate that. So that might be what we were thinking about. We still need to actually make our check though for this this rapid punches. We still need to physically make the check. Okay, there it comes. On a 6, we've now checked a 2 with the Stain response. We've got to commit 4 of our things, meaning that we still get to leave our one with nature up though. It's going to come in with the +4 damage. It's going to come in with +5 because of Kamui, right? Starting at 9. And now, yeah, if we don't have the low block, the half damage on this is pretty lethal. And then it looks like the last one with nature discard is going to come in here, discarding our last final hardened shot. Man, we really just drew like nothing but attacks there. Actually crazy. This is now essentially a 5, essentially a 7 low. So this is blockable if we have like a 1 or 2 low and we check well. That's not a 1. That's gonna be on a 8, 9, 10. Because of the one with nature +2, and it looks like we're going to be 1 off from blocking that, I believe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 because we have a +5 low block. And nope, yep, it looks like that is going to be lethal. We are one resource short of blocking that, and man, what an intensely close game. All right, so going into game 2 here, what I really want to see, I mean, obviously Stain walking away as the loser, he has a little more to think about. What I really want to see Stain do this game is just utilize his response a lot more appropriately. I think there were really key interactions, key windows that we could have used. I mean, there were 2 times that we could have stopped. There's the Betty Squabble proxy. I mean, there were 2 times that we could have stopped +2 speed from seizing coming in and possibly resulted in being able to block a lot more, take a lot less damage. You know, if we're not at 21 health, if we don't eat that big old hardened chop to the face in the very early game, in game 1, maybe we don't take, you know, we don't take lethal damage in game 2, right? There's a lot of ways things could have gone. Maybe if we elect to utilize Stain a little earlier to stop some speed, we would have been able to block 2 things maybe that turn. There's a lot of ways that we could have gone about it, and I just don't think that we made the best uses of our response. The Stain response is something that we can't necessarily overvalue, especially in a matchup like this. Just seen as like we're obviously playing so many Kirishima attacks, so many of these really efficient earth punches that reset our resources. Things like hardened jab, things like hardened chop are going to make committing our board just a lot less punishing in the grand scheme of things, and so it offers us just like a lot less to think about in that regard, and a lot more to think about as Stain. So we have to make sure that we're responding on the right checks, mostly looking to kind of just like delete a lot of like passing stats and things that get passed on to the next one, rather than just like full force going for the whole the whole I'm gonna commit all your resources type of thing. Because most of the time the earth player is either just going to commit the resources because they don't care, or they're just going to have the other attacks anyway, and we're just kind of trying to bait things out. But the bait feels a lot less bad when you're also negating a lot of their stat bonuses from things like Texas Smash and like Season the Advantage. Speaking of Season the Advantage, there it is. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do any Stain responding on this Season the Advantage play because we haven't hit our rival yet. This is kind of the main issue with Stain trying to stabilize in the early game, is it's really hard to try and get that poke in so you can turn your character online, but also have enough foundations to be able to do that in the first place. Now thankfully our stage looks better than it did even at the end of last game. Actually, the season is going to be really big here to come in and flip something, and it looks like we're now clarifying, because if you didn't know, turn player gets the priority response here, so season can actually flip Specialist of Sound before it's used. So it looks like that's what's going to be done here. We might opt to use the other specialist instead, maybe within the context of only having one. We don't want to use it here. I think either play is okay. We're not super, this is a big move. It's really just a matter of, do we want to bother blocking this or not? The It Can't Be Fixed are going to kind of protect us from the stun 2 here though. So it looks like we're still going to opt to use Specialist of Sound. The It Can't Be Fixed here as a presence is really massive. I don't know if our rival wants to stun 2 here, allowing us to go into 9 foundations, but it looks like it's happening. It looks like it's happening, and so we're still going to have 5 ready if we respond with both It Can't Be Fixed, which I think we definitely should do, just so that we can try and get through this turn a little easier. The Specialist -3 speed, a lot less prevalent since the Season the Advantage +2 speed came in, so we're now going to be looking at it looks like a 3 speed back alley haymaker, substantially more blockable than it was before. It looks like we only used 1 It Can't Be Fixed, which is kind of interesting. And here we see the Any Means Necessary with the 1 with Nature coming in for a bunch of free stats. This is now effectively a 5 mid back alley haymaker, if you will, with a little more damage on it. We're probably going to see the Kamui come in too here, maybe even the Manly Friendship. We really want our rival to block this, but it looks like we're actually coming in with the Petty Squabble here by the looks of it. So both players choosing to discard 2 cards. Oh my goodness, the double Any Means Necessary. I mean, I guess all of these cards are really good when Any Means Necessary is just glued to your hand. We've now effectively just got a free +2 out of that, and we get to do it even more. This is a really funny deck. This is super duper funny. Just a bunch of 1 with Nature, a bunch of Betty Squabbles, a bunch of Any Means Necessary, just all of these discard outlets. The Texas Smash discard is kind of free. This is extremely funny. Yeah, this is now a really big back alley haymaker. It's got a bunch of damage on it. We are essentially going to be blocking this on a 3 speed into our 4, 5, 6, 7 with 1 with nature and our +2 mid block. Checking the 3 is not what we want there, but we do get to stave off this attack. Kamui's going to ready though, and if we have something like a Texas Smash here, it's going to be very, very punishing. Another back alley haymaker will definitely do it though. Not the check that we want to see though, as Kamui Woods. That is the check that's going to tell us we don't get to do much more cool stuff after this one. And I mean, honestly, the stun here is kind of, I mean, it's a little irrelevant. Honestly, I don't think I would have stunned there. I actually don't think I would have stunned there, just because like him getting the +1 foundation is good for him in the long run, and we don't actually change what his blocking power is on this attack. So I actually think I would not have stunned there. We might see the 1 with nature come down. We've got like a million cards in our hand at this point, thanks to something, thanks to the any means necessaries on the petty squabble play. And it looks like the 1 with nature is going to come in once again. We might also see the someone with style pick itself back up here. I think Kamui really wants to have a healthy board after this attack, because this is all that we're getting to go into our rival's turn with. So we're going to take a nice little chunk of damage there on the chin, if you will, thanks to that back alley haymaker. And now it's time to build. More 1 with natures coming in is fantastic, although the checks are gonna you know, put a little bit of pain when it comes to going into our rival's next turn. We've got 6 foundations, which is not a bad place to be by any means. Right now, as Stain, we're not really looking to do anything crazy. We really just want to get our response online. If Stain has one goal, it is to simply touch the rival this turn and not really do anything else crazy. So hopefully we're able to achieve that without committing too many of our resources. The hard thing about Stain is if you can't hit them on turn 2, it becomes progressively more difficult, because you're trying to hit them through their really healthy stage, their mid-game build. They're usually at like 9, 10-ish foundations depending on the deck, and all you really have to try and break through is +1 speed, right? That's all your character is offering you in this scenario. As far as ways to help us, we might be seeing a capture net play here. So as far as ways to help us get damage through, capture net could be really big here. It could, but it really quite won't be, because those that can't be fixed are staring us dead in the face. Stun 2, and then my rival builds 3 foundations does not feel great here. Letting Kamui go into our turn with what? He's at exactly 10. Being able to go into our next turn with 13 foundations means we can easily fall prey to a string. And so it looks like the stun 2 is still coming in though, and the it can't be fixed are about to roll out, building us lots of free foundations. We're not posturing any deadlock pressure right now on Stain's board, so there's actually just no reason not to just build like crazy here. This is really big for Kamui here. He's going to be able to go into Stain's turn with a massive healthy stage, and at this point I don't know if the Stain response, it feels like it's already past the point of relevancy here, if I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's hard to imagine that, you know, even when we do get our character online, this is going to have a very big effect. Kamui just kind of gets to not care at this point, really. It's just not something we're concerned about. Moving the Petty Squabble proxy up to the front because it looks like we're ready to block this attack. The Petty Squabble here is going to put in a ton of mileage. If y'all don't know, man, Petty Squabble says commit your character, both players discard 2, draw 2. Normally, that's a really big cost, but when it comes to something like Kamui Woods, who gets to ready himself every time something gets blocked, that is not a cost in the slightest, and you get a massive amount of hand filtering with a card like that inside of his deck, even more when you're playing all these any means necessary and taking full advantage of all of the discard outlets that you have. It's going to be tough for Stain to try and pull this one through. He's going to have to try really hard to find some good tempo. Like, he really needs to take that tempo back this game. You know, as the 6-hander with the health lead, he really needs to find that tempo back here, and it looks like that's what we're going to be doing. So I think we need to update our own health total there as Kamui on our life tracker. On the 20. We are going for the half block though. So it's going to be a little more punishing for the Stain player. We're going to get our damage through, right? That's like the main thing here. We're going to take half, and then we're going to take our burn as well. So we actually only staved off like 1 damage from that attack because of the Stain burn, and we half blocked what, like a 3 damage move. Yeah, so we only staved off 1 of the 4 essential damage from that move, but still an okay block nonetheless. I mean, we get the breaker 1, so I mean, Stain should be slowing down after this move anyway. We need to be starting to put our dukes up, but it looks like we're gonna be going for the next move anyway, even on the breaker 1. Seeing that we checked a 4, so we've got to commit 1 thing by the looks of it. Kamui will be readied as well as an attack was blocked. The Easily Excited is also going to come in on this one. This is now going to be like a 6 high. It's not terrible, but it's going to be really hard to find any more damage this turn, to be honest. It looks like we might have thought that we were going to the block step there. He says, hang on, buddy. I got combos to do, man. I got combos. I got stain stats to put on. I got combos left and right. And the first one is going to be combo enhanced, discard your momentum right there. So being able to keep him off of any EX or powerful plays. We have seen the hardened uppercuts checked. So being able to keep him off of the EX2 plays might be pretty pivotal. In general, get rid of your rival's momentum is always great. And then it looks like the start with the basics is going to come in here. Going to pump this up to a ooh, yeah, +1 +2 is pretty nice here. Our next one has +2. We can still put +1, essentially +1 on this one from Stain. I mean, we have what, 6 things ready and our character, so this is still pretty blockable for Kamui. And it looks like, ooh, it looks like we're going for the Hero's Inspiration to shove this into the card pool and draw a card. Are we going to see another Capture Net come down? Is that what's going on here? I mean, surely if we were going to do that, we would have done it on the previous one, but I guess maybe we really wanted to pass these stats on, especially after seeing like, hey, you clearly don't have a low block, so if we just put a bunch of stats on the Capture Net, it's not bad, even for just like the half block damage. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Although if we do block with that Hardened Chop and we Breaker 1, man, Breaker 1 would have felt really great here on this like really wide greedy attack line. But it looks like we're respecting what might be the future attacks and simply opting to take this going all the way down to 10 after the Stain burn. Now what will Stain do, right? We clearly want to do something with this with this Hero's Inspiration since we put it in there. The Slashing Whirlwind is coming in. This is interesting. Do we have a lethal line here? Have we calculated lethal in our hand? Possibly. I mean, all our moves have +1 speed. This one comes in with +2 from the next. We're gonna be able to +1 speed. This is gonna be like what, a 6 mid for 6 here. It's not bad, but it does not kill. It does not kill, and so I have to really question the point here of kind of only going half baked, right? You know, we've either I'm totally wrong and we've already calculated how to find lethal in our hand, or we're just kind of attacking for the sake of attacking. But if we can't close the game out, it's hard, right? We're in a position where if we can't close the game out, we're going to be very vulnerable to Kamui's massive stage. And maybe it's not guaranteed lethal. Maybe we've calculated a line that's risky but possible, and we've just decided that that's the line that we have to take in order to possibly win this game through. So let's see what this Slashing Whirlwind is obviously not going to be able to do a ton, given that it's not packing 2 momentum. Ooh, but a Sugar Rush. A Sugar Rush sure does make this lethal damage. A Sugar Rush sure does make this 10 damage. Yeah, and it's gonna be what, 5, 6, 7, 8 speed. We would be blocking. We know that the chop is in hand, so let's assume that that's our only mid block. Blocking on an 8, 9, 10. But the big thing here, right? So the big thing here is this is where the Stain block is going to be, the Stain response is going to be very relevant because we can use this on block. So right now, let's do some math here. This is like an 8. This is like an 8 speed move. After the Sugar Rush speed and the Stain speed, we block on an 8, 9, 10, 11. Stain response -3 to your check is basically +3 speed. So right now, we'd basically be blocking this on a 14. Yep, so this block is going to be coming in on an 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is on an 11 right now. And with the Stain response, even if our rival checks a 5, we would check a 2 here. And we've only got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things to commit on an 11. So this block actually isn't passable unless we check a 6. And there it is. There's the 5 check, which is actually going to be a 2 check with that Stain response coming in. So it's now on an 11. We've only got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we cannot pass the block. But it looks like we might have messed up in our math somewhere there, because this is definitely on an 11 and we only committed there to a 10. So Kamui Woods actually should be very dead here. This should be a very dead Kamui Woods. That was a guaranteed lethal line, barring any 6 check R1 mid block. And Hardened Chop is a +2 mid block with Breaker 1. Is my math right here? 5, 6, 7, 8 speed Slashing Whirlwind, 9, 10, 11. We've checked a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that block does not pass. So very unfortunate that that neither players did their math right, because that is definitely a dead Kamui Woods. But it looks like neither of them caught that, and neither of them added things up correctly. So we're going to be proceeding on with the game state from this way. I mean, it's webcam, right? Sometimes things are pretty hard to catch over webcam. You know, certain numbers this, certain numbers that. But we definitely counted by foundation there, and that Kamui Woods should be dead. But we're going to proceed with the game anyway. It's possible that Stain might still be able to pull out a victory, or maybe Kamui Woods will find a really epic backswing. Because I mean, as Stain, we're pretty defenseless here, right? Only four foundations ready. Our character is very committed. That is the only downside of using that Stain response aggressively, is it leaves you completely open on the backswing. Stain's only defense is that -3 tier check while you're attacking me, which is why normally, unless it's going to attain like Omega value or it's going to actually win you the game, you don't usually use that Stain response aggressively. Now, we had figured out how it was going to win us the game, right? We had figured out how it was going to win us the game. It's just unfortunate that we didn't quite catch the numbers properly. Now, the petty squabble is going to be coming in here, committing our character, discarding 2, drawing 2. I mean, with the petty squabbles, it's pretty hard to imagine that Kamui doesn't find some kind of lethal line here. We have so many ways to filter our cards. Anytime our rival blocks us, we're going to be able to just find more and more cards every time we petty squabble, as long as we can afford to play the next attack, right? So, yep, it looks like there's the hardened jab, gonna get its -3 speed in from the Specialist of Sound. I think we actually committed and flipped our Specialist of Sound, because I don't see it anymore, but we definitely responded with it on this attack. But you definitely don't have to flip Specialist of Sound to -3 speed. It is a super duper repeatable use. And then it seems like those bonus damages from the One with Nature are going to be coming in here, discarding a card, +2 to our block mod, essentially giving like 2 of our speed back, the power of One with Nature. And I think, yeah, we do have 2 One with Nature, so they are going to pull double duty this turn. Not the check we want to see. This is a 0 speed on a 4, so we only have to commit 1, thankfully. And now we have that really cool intimidating presence global effect of -1 speed to all of our rivals' moves. But there's the season coming in here, and I mean, because of those can't be fixed, we just have so many foundations to commit now with Kamui. We're pretty much free reigning here, and we're just going to be able to play moves non-stop. And there's the hardened jab coming in next. Jab after jab after jab. These checks don't even matter. We're going to build in a new one with the seizing. We're going to get to flip a rival foundation. We're going to get +2 speed on this one. It's kind of just ludicrous, really. The value that one gets out of playing so many seasoning advantages is crazy. It's also crazy that maybe these are the only attacks we have, but since we have double jab, we could have like played season, played an attack, played jab, picked up the season, played the season again, played the jab, picked up the season. Like, hardened jab with seasoning advantage is so ridiculous. This is pretty much the combo that made people beg for hardened jab to see some kind of hit on the ban list. And it looks like we're going to be using the petty squabbles once more in tandem with the any means necessary to actually draw 3 cards in total. All this hand advantage is going to go a very long way towards making sure we can just One with Nature every move from here on out. We're effectively at +1 speed right now with the seizing coming in, because the intimidating presence is going to have -1 speed to everything, so we have +1 globally, and then we effectively have a faux +2 speed from the One with Nature coming down here, this one as well. This is basically a 6 mid for 6 now, which I think we kind of just have to take on the chin. We can't really risk our rival playing anything scarier after this one, because we could easily just die to like Texas Smash into anything right here if we're not super careful. We've got to just wait for some slower moves, I think, to come down. The 2 ready foundations that we have right now just really don't look like they're going to go a long way towards providing us with any kind of lethality. And those 2 ready foundations not going to exist anymore because the back alley haymaker is coming down hard here. Now, fortunately for Stain here, it's going to be our last check, meaning our cycle has to come in, so we don't have a 0 difficulty to build in. But if we're holding a 0 difficulty foundation in our hand, we're going to be able to discard it for the One with Nature and then build it right in with the back alley haymaker. So strong. Or we could just draw a card to fuel our One with Natures, or just draw more attacks. Like, there's so many ways we can go right now. It's really dangerous for Stain to be blocking right now as well, just because we're going to let our rival ready Kamui, and the more Kamui gets to ready, the more we get to petty squabble, which means the more we get to just discard and find more and more cards. We might be giving our rival cards in the process, but that really doesn't matter because they really can't block much anymore anyway. And if we're just finding more and more attacks, it's a completely negligent cost. Oh, we can also destroy a face down 0 with the Someone with Style to go ahead and ready itself, and then build in that 0 with the back alley haymaker, which is going to be really strong. Man, if we would have taken 1 more damage, these quick to axe would be going pretty crazy right here. Granted, we should have taken 10 more damage and be dead right now, but you know what's in the past. What's in the past is in the past. So that new, it looks like we really, we want to build in that new 0. Yeah, we want to build in that new 0. Effectively, man, readying a foundation, stunning 2, just being a really well set attack in general. Back alley haymaker does it all, folks. Back alley haymaker does it all. And it looks like we're probably going to see a One with Nature activation here as well, just to make sure this is like super unblockable. It's pretty unblockable right now, honestly speaking. But oh no. With the Intimidating Presence, it's actually like pretty it is blockable under some really optimal circumstances. So I think we might see the One with Nature discard coming in here, especially just to get the free damage on it, man. I don't see any reason not to put so much free damage on it. Although I guess if we have all attacks in hand, maybe we're just thinking about how many checks we can possibly pass, but I would definitely One with Nature here. And it looks like that's what's coming in for a fake +2 speed, and then we're gonna be able to get to respawn for +2 damage in total from both of them. Now this is pretty unblockable. I think it basically went into a 3 mid. Now it's like a 5 mid with the One with Nature, and it's very unblockable. And so it looks like we didn't even put the damage on it either. That might just spell how like actually guaranteed lethal our hand is right now. And there's the Texas Smash. Yep, it's gonna be coming in. Yeah, we just got a little peek at the hand there, and I think it is just all attacks, which is kind of hilarious. So yeah, Texas into anything now here is pretty much gonna kill. So it's gonna be on a 7, checking a 5, committing 2 foundations for that. Our next one is pretty much impossible to fail, and as long as One with Nature stays fueled, I don't think that any of these are. This one's maybe blockable if we don't One with Nature. I don't know if we can +4 to the next one now though. That might be the only issue, is we're actually starting to run out of cards. The One with Nature tax is starting to kind of bite us in the butt. Maybe we should have drawn off a back alley instead of built. Maybe that could be the super duper minor misplay that comes in and actually saves Stain this game. Wouldn't that be crazy? And to bring us all the way to the game 3 that we should be having in the first place, that would be nuts. This is still looking pretty scary though. I can't rest on my laurels quite just yet. This is a 7 damage Texas Smash. It's only a 3 high, right? So if we have like a 1 high block and check a 5, it is blockable. There are 1 highs in Stain's deck on a 5. If we check this, I think we're in the clear. If we check this, we're pretty golden, but the 5 check does not come in for us. The 3 is gonna come down, force us to take this big chunk of damage into the face, and I believe now we're just gonna be able to put any attack down. Yeah, this is gonna be on a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's gonna check the 5, the Petty Squabble Proxy coming in hot, committing 3 for 6, 7, 8, and yep, this is going to be pretty much unblockable. It's basically a 5 speed move right now. It's a 4 speed after the Intimidating Presence comes in, but barring a buddy block and us not using One with Nature is pretty much our only out here. And I know that Kamui is about to One with Nature the heck out of this thing ASAP, and this is probably gonna spell lethal doom for Stain. I don't think that he's got a way out of this one. We don't One with Nature though, and we actually just hit with this. That's pretty interesting. If we One with Nature, like, it's just lethal, right? But I guess we can play this on a 10, and if we'd have checked the 3 there, Stain would actually be alive, which is kind of crazy that we didn't just One with Nature there. Okay, for a basically guaranteed kill, barring something silly like a plus ultra or whatever. But the back alley haymaker coming down is just going to be enough to do it, and it's going to spell super lethal doom for Stain there. A big congrats to Kamui for that dub. I highly doubt that he realized he did his math wrong on the block for the slashing whirlwind. I don't think he realized it should have killed him. I think it would be pretty cool if one day these gamers could meet back up again for the fated game 3 that they should have. I would love to actually commentate that, if anything. All right, and that's gonna wrap up this fight. A big thanks again to Brandon Berry for sending in this gameplay to be commentated on. If you enjoyed and or learned anything from it, I would appreciate some feedback down below. And if you want more content like this, you want to hit the subscribe button for more. And if that doesn't do it for you just yet, you can also hit the join button, become a channel member, support me even further, get yourself some sweet badges, some sweet emotes, all kinds of cool perks when I stream. And of course, if you want to commission your very own gameplay video like this, or check out any of my other video commission tiers on Patreon, the link for all of that is going to be down in the description below, and I would really appreciate your support. Above all else though, thanks just for making it to the end of this video. That's all I've got for today, but I hope I can see you in the next one.